So I'm here to speak about my testimony. To God be the glory, because it's been a long time coming, and God has been so patient with me. But we're just gonna get straight into it because I don't have a lot of time to film. So let's do this. So I was not raised in the church, or so I remember. I was born in Kenya, and I remember, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually making this video. This is wild. Oh, child. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that and just do it in both. But yeah, so I was born in Kenya, and what did I do? I was alive. I think my whole birth experience is also a testimony, because when my mom told me, I was like, yeah, that was God. I was born premature, and I think they tried to kill me, but that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, I was born, and I was raised a bit from my grandparents, and then I moved with my mom to Ireland when I was really young, so I had to learn Irish. For all those who understand Irish, Conna Satatu. Yeah, so then I lived in Ireland for a bit. I think my mom gave her life when I was a bit older, but there was definitely themes in my life where I knew God. I knew Jesus, and yeah, so it started with my grandmother, and she literally would sing this verse to me. It was, well, now I know it's John 14, but obviously back then I just thought, oh, that's a nice song. She would sing, in my father's house there's many rooms, and it just stuck with me for whatever reason. Well, for God knows the reason. I was coming back into a relationship with him. So yeah, so that happened. And I would have these instances where I just have memories of like God memories, I would say, because I remember I was looking at a sunset, and as I was looking at the sunset, I was like, wow, God is real. Who? Me, in my human mind, you think I'm gonna come up with that? No, that was definitely God. So there was instances like that, and I was really young, so like I wouldn't have come up with that myself. What next? And I think I remember my auntie, I think I went to Germany one time. My auntie was like, she had this like children's Bible thing, and I just remember seeing pictures of Jesus loving children, and I was like, oh, I know this guy because I've seen him. Like, I just knew him. I couldn't explain it. So I remember when I was younger, I had a little single bed, and I would go sleep, and I would leave like half of my bed. So I'm scrunched up in the wall, and I'm like, Jesus, that's room for you, like to like sit and like watch over me. And so yeah, so there was that. What else? So yeah, I had certain themes in my life that I just knew God was God. Jesus was also God, however that was revealed to me. Holy Spirit, thank you. So yeah, so that's now leading up to when I'm now getting older. My mom gives her life. She's trying to take God more seriously. We start going to church. Sorry, my hair is it's doing a bit of a we start going to church, and oh yeah, another story for another time. We start going to church, and I was just like, okay, it is what it is. God is God, Jesus is God, like I know. And it's not until we moved to the UK. Can you say that? To the UK? To the United Kingdom? Yes, but to the UK sounds weird. So I'm gonna say we moved to UK. And I think that's when I started seeing people that were a little bit more serious with the faith, because before I lived in Ireland, and I'm not saying they're not serious, I just think I went to a serious church. I need to cut that out. So telling your testimony is really tough. But yeah, so I just remember, oh child, don't break the camera. Okay, yeah. So I remember now moving to the UK, and I think I started querying, like, okay, God, like, because I had a sense of morality, a sense of godliness. So I would be like, I'm gonna wait until marriage. I know it's wrong to do X, Y, Z. So there was that. Excuse me. And okay, no breakfast. I'm still burping. Okay. So there was that. And I just remember, I'm gonna have to do this video again because this is all over the place. But God, help me, Father. So I remember like moving to UK, and now you know, like things, family life was not so great, but I somehow knew God was with me. There was an instance where I just had peace in a situation where I should not. Like, it would almost look like I was not caring about the situation, but the reality is, no, I just have peace. I know everything's gonna be fine. So there was that. So I knew God was in my life, right? So now we've covered, like, he's been a theme in my life. Now let's head off to university. Let's do a skirt to university, because this is where I think he really met me. This is where he was like, all right, Winter, I'm done with you playing about. So now I'm in this relationship with this Hindu guy. He's lovely. And yeah, very respectful, amazing guy. And I think I was having this conviction and not recognizing that it's conviction. So yeah, so I'm having this conviction that I shouldn't be in a relationship that we both have different religions. Best believe, am I practicing my religion like that? No. So all these expectations, I don't know. But I just know that I should not be in a relationship where the guy is of a different relationship. I'm not even reading my word like that. I think I just know. So then that happens, and I literally remember calling him and being like, I don't think this is it. Like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, you're this, and like, you're Hindu, I'm Christian. Like, I don't think it's gonna work out. And it was a very like painful stage, but I just knew. So and I watched this video, for whatever reason I was watching, about soulmates, and I'll link it down. I sound like a YouTuber. I'll link it down below in the description box. I never thought I would say that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, here we are. So I'll link it. And yeah, that video really opened my eyes to show me that I was not in the right relationship. So after I made that decision, my heart's intent was to be like, yes, God, all yours. But my flesh was like, we gonna get another man. We gonna do another round two, because he didn't work out. We're gonna find someone else. You know, you're in uni now. Like, wild out. That's the enemy. That's the flesh. Okay, you have you have a lot of voices, and that was not God. So yeah, so I think there was this guy in like gospel choir that I was like, oh, he cute. And yeah, I ended up just being in a situation. That's a whole nother story, with God giving me a dream about how he was not it. So yeah, so that was that. I went through a lot. Fast forward to me having to confront someone because they treated me absolutely wrong. It was just an interesting, sorry, 1 second. Now I think I'm still in first year, and a lot of things are happening in a short period of time, that you know, it's one of those things where you choose to get yourself in that situation, and then it actually happens and you're like, God. So that was me. I was just like, a lot of things are happening, a lot of situations I just shouldn't have been in were happening. And I think this guy really broke my trust. I think because I told him don't do this, and he still did it. And I just felt so disrespected, because how can it was already tough for me to say no, because, you know, back then I would think no means I'm rejecting you. I don't want to make you feel rejected. And I felt really like bad for things. So for me, it was already tough to say no. And then for that person to then still do it, I'm just like, did you get it's tough for me to already be in a position to decline and you still force. So that happened. And I remember one time, I think it just got all, like it got too much for me. So I ran. I speedwalked home. I don't run. I speedwalked home. And I had 4 flights of stairs to go up. So I went up the 4 flights. I was running because I could feel my hunger for God. I could feel my hunger for restoration. I could feel my hunger for something to satisfy, to stop the hurt. So I remember running home, and I closed and I locked my door, and I remember it was just my bed and then a window. And yeah, I just got on my knees and I was like, God, I'm sorry. Like I was a little, I don't think I was a soppy mess, to be fair. I think I was just like, God, I'm sorry. Like, I'm here. I give my life to you. So that's when I definitely was like, I'm dedicated. And of course the enemy could, is my hair okay? Sorry. Of course the enemy could sense that, because when I gave my life, my Ishmael relationship came up. I'm just gonna have to put it like that. We're gonna have to call a spade, because that relationship, yeah, God didn't call me to that, but I called myself. The enemy called me to it. So I just remember for the next few years of my life, I was living in sin. I was living in disobedience to God, and that's a whole nother story. But the main thing about my testimony is God met me. God met me when I was at my lowest. And I think the knowledge that you have, God is real. You know Jesus is God, because why are you calling on him at your worst times? So I know that God exists. I know that Jesus is God. You don't even need to explain to me. He just is. So the fact that he met me, and I wasn't living for him to begin with, and he still meets me time and time and time again, even after those years of like just not being in his will for me. So yeah, I think that's my little 15-minute testimony. I'm gonna have to do this video again.